Alrighty, here we go one more time with SKMC versus mOOnGLaDe at the MLG Dallas Championships Round 5 Open Bracket Game 3 of 3, with mOOnGLaDe spawning as the purple Zerg in the lower right, MC spawning as the red Protoss in the upper left. Now that game on Daybreak, oh my god, that was so crazy. MC made the sickest comeback I've ever seen. That game was just like amazing and disgusting for all the same reasons, right? It's just like, oh hey, I'm a mothership and I have these 6 friends called Archons. I'm gonna win the game, thanks. It was pretty wicked, but I mean, MC made all the most amazing decisions, like that moment when he was pinned down in the back of his base. There was like 20-something Broodlords and 20-something Corruptors, infested Terrans everywhere. He's got nowhere to go. So he gets the mothership, moves it out of his base, recalls the hell out of there, takes out mOOnGLaDe's infrastructure, bringing it down to a single split second where mOOnGLaDe had one building left on the map, and bringing it back to a win. It was just amazing. So, mega props to the Boss Toss MC for a sick game too. So of course this best of 3 will be concluding with the end of this game, and we're hoping. I was kind of hoping to put an interview with mOOnGLaDe up at the end of this video, so like you just kind of finish watching the game and then we move right into the interview. But unfortunately, he's not available right now to do the interview. So I think what I'll do is I'll record the interview separately and we'll put it up as a separate video, and then we'll just attach it to the end of this at some point. So the statement that I made in the first video saying we'll interview mOOnGLaDe at the end of video 3 still won't be entirely false, but yeah, apologies for that. We'll catch up with him as soon as we get a moment, and we'll get that interview happening. And ooh, look at this! This is a little bit different from MC. In those last few games, he chose not to build a pylon down here, preventing the hatchery of mOOnGLaDe. This time going right for it, not even messing around. So it's a little bit different. mOOnGLaDe's pool finishing up in time to create some Zerglings to come and deal with this. Is MC gonna make a gateway? Looks like he wants to. He might make a gateway. Of course, you can build a gateway in the power of the pylon, and it blocks the hatchery. And even though the gateway doesn't have power, it's still a giant nuisance. He might do it? No, he won't do it. Not with the Zerglings there. Oh my god, he did it! How wrong am I? Now, can 2 drones and 4 Zerglings take down a gateway? Yeah, they can take down a gateway before it finishes. Good cancel there from MC. And now completely sealing his wall. Is that a complete... I think it might be. No, there's a gap there. Ignore me, I'm crazy. I didn't even know things. And 3rd hatchery there from mOOnGLaDe. So, MC going for that typical 2 gases. mOOnGLaDe getting right on in and seeing it with that first Overlord. Very cool to see. So won't be surprised in the slightest. This is the exact same build, or the exact same opening, I should say, that MC used in those last 2 games. But of course on Cloud Kingdom he went for that Robo very quickly, in favor of getting a fast +1 or anything like that. And on Daybreak we actually saw him go for that fast Stargate, with those 5 or 6 Phoenixes flying around being really annoying. So let's see what he plans to do this time. He does have that Cyber Core on the way, and soon he does now have enough gas for a Robo. No sign of it yet. Approaching the gas for a Stargate. No sign of that either. Actually picking out that +1. So complete variation from MC in all 3 of these games. Very cool to see. And of course that's why he's won so many freaking tournaments. He's really good. Alrighty. That 3rd hatchery from mOOnGLaDe almost complete. This probe, gonna have a little look-see down here. Check it out, be like, oh yeah, he definitely didn't cancel that and do some weird like roachling all-in or anything like that. And there we go, we got a Stargate again in game 3. So a slight twist from what we saw. Oh. He showed the +1 and then he cancelled it in favor of a Stargate. Now, this is pretty interesting, and of course he's only getting those 2 gases, well, up until now. But in those last 2 games he had his 3rd gas much earlier. So you gotta wonder what this is all about. This is pretty sneaky. Now let's check mOOnGLaDe's vision. Of course he doesn't know anything about this. He sees the 3rd and the 4th gases going down now. And I mean, I'm not good enough to know what that means. Obviously MC's... what's the word I'm looking for here? He's imitating I guess you could say, a specific timing so that MOOnGLaDe sees the third and fourth gases after seeing the +1 being researched. And he's like, oh yes, of course, this is, you know, a Century Immortal all-in or whatever. Although I don't think that's exactly what it would look like to him, thanks to the fourth gas. But I guess what I'm trying to say is MC's really playing with what Glade can see here, which is very cool to see. It's one of my favorite aspects of StarCraft. Oh, and MOOnGLaDe sees the Phoenix. Surprise! Phoenix decides I'm going to fly away now. Wants to kill this one while the Stalker handles this one. Very cool. So yeah, there we go. Now MC starting that +1 again. MOOnGLaDe starting his lair. 2 Evos and his Roach Warren just finished. MOOnGLaDe now heavily supply capped with 4 Overlords in production to replace the 2 he lost. And of course to continue his production henceforth. Not a word that gets used enough. Alrighty. Phoenix just kind of cruising along looking for more Overlords. Not finding anything yet. Phoenix, as I have to say, definitely one of the coolest looking units. I'm a big fan of the Phoenix. Yep, another Overlord going down. Goodbye. Who's gonna get the kill? Who's gonna get the kill? Ah, this guy did. Alrighty, Glade now taking his 4th, 5th, and 6th gases. This is a lot of gas. I expect to see an infestation pit any second now. Macro hatch going down. Roach speed, Ling speed, +1 melee and +1 carapace, all on the way. No infestation pit is pretty surprising. Alrighty. Just glancing at my phone for a moment. Apologies for that. Now, MC getting 2 observers out. Pretty cool to see. I guess one will be for clearing creep. Typically when we see people make 2 observers like this, they pick up 1 Void Ray to run around with 1 observer and clear up all the creep, while the other observer kind of sticks with the army and does all that normal observer stuff. But no Void Ray this time. Infestation pit now going down for MOOnGLaDe along with Aspire, with 700 gas in the bank. 4th base on the way, which would be his 5th hatchery. And of course, we can see MC taking his 3rd base. Aspire, 2 hatches, lots of stuff happening for MOOnGLaDe. Only an observer for MC right now. Lings just kind of swarming on past. Ooh, a bunch of sneaky Lings managed to get around the side of the map. MC is not going to be expecting this. He doesn't even have time to force field. The entire army getting surrounded. Really nice force fields there, creating a nice little donut there where the army cannot be touched. Sentries kind of poking out at all the Zerglings, but I mean, once those force fields go down, there's not going to be much protecting these sentries, and they know it. They're throwing down as many force fields as they can, trying to buy more time for more reinforcements, buying time for this Colossus and Thermal Lance. Still, these Zealots having a seizure, realizing we are not meant to be crammed into this space. MOOnGLaDe now deciding he wants to start focusing down the Nexus, and walking away. So MC actually held that pretty damn well. I think he lost like maybe 1 Zealot and a Stalker or something. Let's check it out. Units lost 11. Pretty impressive, but oh my god, so many more Zerglings swarming on in. Ouch! Is this Colossus going to die to Zerglings? We don't see this very often. I don't know if there's enough units here. Oh, throwing down a force field to try and save the Colossus, but the Colossus just barely stepped on it at the last second. These Zerglings with +1/+1 are pretty damn powerful. Now while this is happening, MOOnGLaDe now making 10 Roaches and 16 Lings. His Pathogen Glands is almost done. +2/+1 is being researched, and Burrow is also being researched. MC really struggling to hold this aggression despite having Colossi. Now he does have some decent banks, so there we go. That's what I was expecting to see. Only being able to reinforce during all this with 3 gates. That's his biggest downfall right now. He has the money, just doesn't have the production capacity. His Phoenix is now looking around to do some more harassment. Spore Crawler burrowing just a moment too late. Bunch of drones going down, surprisingly, not the Queen. Oh, there we go, there goes the Queen. But being forced to pull back. Lings and Roaches taking their frustration out on the rocks. Why can't we attack her? Goodbye, Phoenix. Now let's just look at the supply here. 65 probes versus, 65 army versus 50, make that 70 army for mOOnGLaDe. 76 probes versus 82 drones. Looks like mOOnGLaDe is getting ready to do a big, powerful attack. He has 8 Corruptors on the way. He wants to deal with those Colossi, and then allow the Roaches and the Zerglings to clean up everything else on the ground. Oh, you poor Overlords. Oh my god, it's a difficult life as an Overlord. Why are we cursed with such slow speed? Fortunately, Corruptors are out. Group spread looking pretty good for mOOnGLaDe, making 2 little valleys up the center of the map here. We can see +2 attack on the way for MC. More Colossi. It's going to bring his Colossi count up to 5. That's actually pretty scary. Trying to deal with Colossi with just a ground army when there's 5 of them. Look at that. That was like quite an overkill for that poor Zergling. And GLaDE's actually going to go for it. Corruptor's now trying to sweep in and focus down these Colossi. One of them is going to go down. The second one's already injured. It goes down. Only 2 Colossi left. GLaDE has more reinforcements in production, more Zerglings on the way, +1 attack being researched for both his Roaches and the Corruptors. The last Colossi does go down. The Phoenix is doing everything they can, but they can't deal with these Corruptors. And now that all the Colossi are out, GLaDE's going to be able to overwhelm these Stalkers and Sentries with just pure ground units. Oh wow, and 11 Infestors on the way. If the ground units weren't enough to overwhelm these Gateway units, I think the Infested Terrans are definitely going to be more than enough. Let's just compare the worker count for a moment. 82 versus 78. Both players almost completely matched, but GLaDE harvesting from their 4th base with a macro hatch, allowing you to produce insane amounts of Zerglings and Roaches at the same time. MC doing a weird blink in no direction for no reason at all. That +2 attack, moments away from finishing. More Colossi being chrono boosted out as fast as he possibly can. He's picking up charge Zealots as well. I guess that's there to buffer the Zerglings, since GLaDE is using a mixed composition of Zerglings and Roaches here. GLaDE now 200 supply, looking to move out for the killing blow. That +1 Roach attack and +1 Corruptor attack finishing just in time for this engagement. Even a Hive on the way, allowing him to transition into those Broodlords. But I mean, with this army, is he even going to need it? This is pretty scary. The Infested Terrans alone are going to be able to completely block off reinforcements at this ramp, allowing GLaDE to sweep in with all of his ground units here. It's really going to rely on MC's force fields. He only has 4 sentries, and some of them are pretty low on energy. Here we go. This is the big engagement. This is going to decide who wins the game. Wow. Those Colossi are really, really worth their weight. Oh my god, the Phoenix is doing such a great job of dealing with the Phoenixes, the Infesteds, sorry. But the Colossi have gone down. The last of the force fields have been dropped. There are still so many Infested Terrans. The Roaches coming in for the killing blow. mOOnGLaDE with 68 Zerglings in production, coming on in to deliver the coup de grace. MC blinking like crazy, trying to stay in the game at the moment. His APM getting pretty insane. Oh, and he actually holds. He holds the attack for the time being. Oh my god, that's a lot of Zerglings. 3-3 is also on the way. I would not be surprised if we saw a Great Aspire. There it is. And I don't think MC can handle another attack of that magnitude. I mean, look at the army supply once again. 58, sorry, make that 70 versus 103. GLaDE's going to be looking to max out very, very quickly. Just waiting on those larvae. Bunch of drones now transferring down to his 5th base. 5 bases versus 3. 6 hatcheries versus about 10 gateways. It's looking pretty good for mOOnGLaDe here. So both players just kind of idling around, preparing themselves for what happens next. GLaDE now maxed out, looking for the kill. My god, that's a lot of Infestors. So many Infestors. How many is that? Like 15? 19 Infestors? Are you kidding? Wow. That's devastating. And all these poor Zealots, I mean, they get fungled. They can't really do much against Infestors. Alright, this looks like it could be it. A few force fields going down, but it's not going to be enough to hold the army. Infested Terrans raining down from everywhere. Colossi getting picked off immediately. The Corruptors now have no purpose in this battle. It's just Stalkers versus Roaches, Zerglings, and Infested Terrans. The Stalkers being pushed back. They're all dealing with Corruptors at the moment. mOOnGLaDe doesn't even seem to care. This Nexus is going to go down momentarily. mOOnGLaDe actually focusing it down with Roaches and Infestors. The Overseers don't want to be flying into that. Oh, turn around, Overseers. You're not a combat unit. You're not a combat unit. Oh, that was painful. But now MC now harvesting off only, not even 1 base, it's like half a base. And we'll just look at the harvester count. He still has a ridiculous number of harvesters. He managed to keep them all alive, which really isn't working for him right now because he needs an army. And mOOnGLaDe, again, already maxed out, 122 to 46. He just keeps pounding MC into the corner, and I mean, you can only take so much. It's actually really freaking impressive that MC has survived for this long. I mean, you know, most people, I guess you couldn't say most people because there's actually quite a lot of Protoss players who are really freaking good. But your average Protoss player would have been destroyed by like the first or second wave, whereas MC's still actually doing a great job of holding on, deflecting the armies, killing everything. It's pretty cool to see. Now the scary part for MC is, yeah, he's got these Archons, which is really cool. That allows him to really deal effectively with the Zerglings, but he still has no solution for the infested Terrans. The Colossi are doing an okay job, but he needs a lot more than that because they keep getting picked off by the Corruptors. And look at this, so many Corruptors swarming in, not even messing around. Colossi getting dropped, and now there is no escape for these Stalkers. The last Colossi is trying to get something done. He does go down. These Stalkers blinking out the ramp, trying to escape the swarm of infested Terrans. The Nexus completes, but it's going to go down instantly. Wow. So many Nexuses just being picked off. MC's got no money left. This is it. There is 125 minerals left in that patch. Oh man. Looks like GG. There it is. So there you go, guys. That was mOOnGLaDe from Team NV up against MC from SK Gaming at the MLG Dallas Championships group, sorry, not group stages, I keep saying group stages, but we're not actually that far yet. It's actually Open Bracket round 5. mOOnGLaDe then went on to face Huck in the next round. So we might end up putting up some more replays of the NV guys over at MLG. Of course, you guys have already seen mOOnGLaDe versus Huck on the main stream. So next time we might put up maybe mOOnGLaDe versus Revival, Rossi versus Mafia, UNYJ versus QXC. We'll have some more games coming for you soon, and of course, keep an eye on the channel. We'll have the interview with mOOnGLaDe and the rest of the guys coming up pretty soon. Thanks for tuning in.